In the next few minutes, I'm going to show you exactly how we have live streamed hundreds of DJ sets, how we've advised our students to live stream their sets. It's a very simple way of doing it using the stuff you already own and just a few extra accessories. So if you're a DJ with a controller and a laptop running DJ software and you want to know how DJs live stream their sets, this is where you're going to find it out. And the best bit about it is it uses free software, and some of the accessories here needn't cost you very much at all to get going. So how does it work? Well, there's actually two ways that we've done it, and two ways I'm going to show you. The first way is the standard way, and the second way is a very quick shortcut if you've got a bit of money to spend on a special kind of camera. But we'll start off with the very standard way. So what we're assuming here is that you've got a laptop and you've got a DJ controller and you already DJ using software. And we're going to use the same laptop that you use for your DJing to also run software to put your live stream out to the internet. So you don't need to use anything else to do it. You can just use the laptop you've already got. That's the first trick here. We're not going to mess around with extra laptops or extra equipment to make that happen. So there's a few things we need. Firstly, we need to know where we're going live. I would say just go live on Twitch. Twitch is easy. You just have to take a server name and a key that Twitch will give you when you click go live and put it into the software I'm about to show you. You'll go live on there. It's a great place to learn, and it's also where most of the DJ community hangs out when it comes to live streaming in 2022 when we're filming this. So Twitch is the place you're going to go live, but of course you're going to need pictures. So what do we use for a camera? So these cameras here, this is an example of a basic webcam. This is a Logitech stream cam. You can also get another one by Logitech called the C922, but this is the one that I really like, the stream cam. It's got a really nice picture. It's really well made. This is for mounting it on your computer, but what I would recommend you do is use the other mount they provide with it to screw it onto a tripod. So they give you a second mount with a hole in it to screw this onto, and then you can put the tripod somewhere where you're getting not only a view of your decks but also a view of your face. So a lot of DJs will put the camera off to the side or maybe just kind of over at the back somewhere, a little bit like where this one is here. So you can see the decks, but you can also see the person who is doing the DJing, because that makes it more engaging for the audience. So a little camera like that then plugs directly into your laptop will give you the visuals, and that's all you need, one of those. Now if you can afford two of them, that's great, because you can then have one close up to the equipment and one giving that wide shot, and of course any more is even better. But then you're going to start using your laptop a little bit too hard, unless it's a very good laptop. You know, once you add 3 cameras and things like that, it does tend to push your computer. Remember, the computer's also running the DJ software, so we need to be a bit careful. I'd say start with one, but if you've got a couple hanging around, experiment with that. Now we're also going to need some way of getting those cameras on to a tripod. So this little bendy tripod's great. This is a Gorilla tripod because you can bend it around like a tree or, you know, a lamp on the wall in order to get your camera nice and high up. So it's quite useful to have one of these. This is a Manfrotto tripod. This is the other one that we've used a lot. They're both very good because they tuck in your DJ bag, don't take up too much room. You can of course use a full-size tripod that stands on the floor, and I wouldn't worry about buying an expensive photographer's one. You can get some pretty cheap ones on Amazon that'll do the job, as long as you're careful not to set them up when it's too windy, because when you don't spend much money on a tripod, it tends to be quite lightweight, so look after it. But we've used a very lightweight tripod that cost us about $40 hundreds of times, and it's still going strong. So you're going to need a tripod to put your camera on, of course, because you need to hold it still so that you're not involved in that when you're actually doing the DJing. So we've got a camera, we've got a tripod. What about lights? This is something people often don't think about. Now, if you're DJing outdoors, it's probably going to be fine. There's nothing better than outdoor light for illuminating what you're getting on with. But if you're DJing like we used to do a lot, DJing when the sun's going down or indoors, then you might find that it's a bit dark and a bit dingy. And one thing that these cameras aren't very good at is dealing with low light. So this is a little light that we have used a lot, and the reason we use it is that it's so tiny. It screws onto the top of a camera if you're using a normal camera, which of course we're not. But also we found a little adapter for it. So the light screws into this adapter here, and then this whole adapter takes your camera and then that screws onto your tripod, so you can basically put them both onto there. And we got this little adapter off of Amazon, but unfortunately I have no idea where the link is that we got it from, but it's by a company called Ulanzi, U-L-A-N-Z-I, Ulanzi. This light is called a vlogger, by Bowling, B-O-L-I-N-G, and it's called a Vlogger light. So this isn't a video where I'm trying to sell you stuff, so you're gonna have to go and find it. But this light's very lightweight. It's got a battery, charges. You can change the light color if you're someone who's into all this stuff. So it's a good little buy. So that's not an essential, but it is worth having a light knocking around in your box if you are serious about this and you know you're going to be doing this in places where the light sometimes dims, because it will just make your gear look better, make your face look better if the light's somewhere where the camera's pointing at you in low light, and it adds a visual element that otherwise you might look a bit murky on camera, and you don't want that. We're trying to keep people engaged, aren't we? Okay, so there's the light. What about the microphone? What if you want to talk to your crowd? Well, there's two ways of doing this. The first way, if you normally use a microphone with your DJ controller, just plug it in, and then that's going to go out over the broadcast, because that's the way that these things work. But that isn't always the case, because a lot of cheaper DJ controllers don't have the ability to do that. For instance, this one doesn't. Now, some more modern DJ controllers are starting to get that built in. So for instance, the Pioneer DJ DDJ Rev 1 has got an ability to take the microphone you've plugged in the back and route it with the audio to your streaming software, which is pretty cool. And the Numark NS4FX is another controller that's done that. The controller manufacturers are starting to realize that that's what people want to do, and therefore building that simple circuitry in. But unfortunately, most of the time, if you're going to do what I'm going to suggest now to get the audio into your live stream, you won't have the microphone channel fed in. The microphone will only be going to your speakers in the room. It won't be going into the computer. So if that's the case, you're going to need a second solution. So I've got a couple of solutions for you. The first solution is this little mic here by a company called iRig, or rather by a company called IK Multimedia. It's called the iRig mic, and this has got a standard little socket on the end that will plug into your laptop's headphone stroke microphone socket. And plug this in, and this is going to be available to the broadcast software I'm about to show you as a source. So therefore you can use the switch here to turn it on and off when you need it, and talk to your audience via this. And the good news about that is, if you happen to be recording your DJ set as well, you happen to hit record in your DJ software, you know, one of the downsides, as we just discussed, of some DJ controllers is that they don't feed the microphone out with the music. But if you are recording your set for putting up on Mixcloud or keeping forever, maybe you don't want your voice saying, hey, shout out to so-and-so. You just want a clean recording. Well, that gives you the chance to have a clean recording in your DJ software and have your voice going out over the live stream. Another microphone actually by the same company is I think it's called the HD2, the iRig HD2, and that's actually got a USB socket on it, so it plugs directly into your computer there and gives you a digital input. Either of those will work. It gives you a way of getting your mic in if you're not hearing your microphone when you plug it into your DJ controller for talking to the crowd. I'll show you how the software works that integrates all this in just a second. So that's the equipment, that's the hardware that we need to do this. We've got cameras, we've got microphone, we've got tripods, we've got lighting. How do we get all that fed into our laptop that we're also DJing on and out to the internet? So that's the next thing I'm going to show you. So let's switch over to the laptop, and I'm going to show you a piece of software that changes everything when it comes to doing this. It's this piece of software here. It's called OBS, or Outside Broadcast Software. It's absolutely free, and here is where you're going to put all your input sources and then blend them and send them out to the internet. And this isn't a tutorial on how to do this. We've got these. I'll tell you where to find them later. But this is our current camera. It's actually just using the webcam. Hello, Mr. Webcam. I haven't plugged in the Logitech camera here. And here is where we add our sources. So we can add our microphone once our microphone is plugged in, and anything else we want to share with our audience to make up what you see on the main screen, which is what's going to go out to your live broadcast. And then in our preferences, we go to streaming and we select where we want to go live, connect our account, or use the stream key, which I talked to you about earlier. And that's all you need to do to be at the point of going live. And then when you're ready to go live, when everything's fine and working, you just click start streaming. So this software is pretty cool the way it does that. It's completely free. You can get it from the OBS website, which is this one here, OBS Studio, and it's at obsproject.com. Simple, right? Well, yes, nearly. Because one of the things that you have to get right on your live stream is the audio from your DJ controller. You don't want to have, God forbid, a microphone picking up your speakers in the room and that's the audio you're sending out to your audience. It's going to sound terrible. People will forgive slightly bad video, they won't forgive bad sound, especially on a DJ broadcast. So in order to get the audio right, we need a direct audio feed from our controller. Luckily, that is reasonably simple to do. Now, some DJ software, for instance, Serato nowadays, has the ability to tell it, look, I want to make this audio available to my computer. And you can go to the audio output settings and click settings here, which will let that happen. But not all DJ software has got that. And what that means is that when you are in OBS and you're in your audio settings here and you're looking for your DJ software to add, it won't be there. It won't be one of the options that you can add. Now, how do you get around that? How do you get to the point where inside your broadcast software you can see the audio from your DJ controller and therefore feed that into your broadcast? Well, there's a few ways of doing it, and I'm going to show you 2 free ways now. I'm also going to show you a way that we use that we've paid for, but you really don't have to pay for this at all. There is a free way of doing it. So the key is that we want to virtually rewire inside our laptop. We want to take the audio from our DJ controller and rewire it and make it available as an input to other programs like OBS. And that is a little utility. Now, if you know what you're doing with a computer, you don't even need the utility, but it's a lot easier if you use one of these utilities. So let's head back to the browser and I'll show you the utilities that you can go and download. The first one is called VB Cable or VB Wire, and this is free. So you head over to the vbaudio.com website and you download this little app. Now, I have had reports that this doesn't work so well with more modern Macs. I'm not sure if they've sorted this out, but download it, install it, and it will let you reroute the audio. If you are using a more modern Mac and you're having problems with it, there's a piece of software called Black Hole by Existential Audio, which definitely does work with modern Macs, and it does exactly the same thing, and it's also free. So Black Hole for Mac, or go and get VB Audio's virtual audio cable, which is called VB Cable. And either of those will give you what you need. Now, the one we use is called Loopback. And the reason we use Loopback is it looks bloody nice and it's got a lot of other functions which just make it more useful if you're in a professional environment. So here you can see I've actually taken the audio from all my DJ apps that I teach here at the school, DJ Pro AI, Recordbox, Serato, Chapter, Virtual DJ, and fed them all into an output channel which I've called DJ apps. So you might have spotted when we were in OBS and I went to have a look at my audio inputs. One of the options here is DJ apps, and that's what Loopback is doing for me. It's giving me a way of inputting my DJ apps into OBS. But you don't need to do it that way. You'll achieve exactly the same thing using the 2 free apps that I just showed you there. So we've covered the software you need. That's all the software you need. You can now go live to the internet. All you need is a reasonable Wi-Fi connection and you're ready to go. It is worth figuring out the way of quickly switching between programs. So you've probably seen me doing this here as we've been live. I use Command and Tab, and I'm pretty sure it's the same on Windows. This is a MacBook, which will let you switch between your programs. So here we are on OBS, and here we are on our DJ software. So if you're DJing and you are also live and you want to go and check what's going out on your live stream, then it's easy to just hit Command and then head over to OBS. You can quickly check what's going on your live stream, and then when you're happy with that, Command and Tab to go back to OBS and back to your DJ software in order to DJ. It's worth learning those because they're the kind of hotkeys you're going to be needing a lot when you are doing it all on one laptop. One of the things that's slight downsides of doing it all on one laptop is it can get a little bit fiddly. But once you know the shortcut, you know, it's pretty easy. I would advise you to close down all other programs. I'd advise you to do that anyway with DJ software. Only have OBS running, so it's only the 2 you're switching between. It won't take you very long to get used to doing that. The only other thing I want to give you as a piece of advice is the only other piece of kit you need is your phone. Why? Because you can then log into, in this instance, Twitch, go to your live stream, and you can see any comments coming in on your phone, and you can give people a shout out by just looking at the phone. It saves you having to worry about trying to do that on the laptop as well. It's more engaging for people to have you shoulders back, facing the camera, phone, shout out to this person, that person, rather than like this, trying to find your comments on your laptop. So I always use often use my phone when I'm getting comments on live streams. So I did tell you that I would show you one more way of doing this. And I'm going to end off when I've done that by telling you where you can find out more about all of this. We've got all this written down in an awesome article with links to all kinds of extra pieces of information. So I'll show you that after I've explained this to you. So this is another way of doing this that we've used a lot. Now it's this little camera here. It's called a Mevo camera. Now this is, it costs a few hundred, it's not a cheap option, but if you're serious about doing this and you want to keep it super simple, I totally recommend getting one of these. It's got a built-in battery, it's got built-in Wi-Fi, and this can go live to the internet, i.e. to Twitch or wherever you choose to go live, on its own. You don't need a laptop, you don't need a computer, you don't need anything. You can even get more than one of these and have them with all your camera angles, but I'd say start with one. So it's got a mount for your tripod here, just like a standard camera has. It's got an input on the back where you can plug in your audio direct from your DJ controller, to take it from the output of your DJ controller and plug it into here. So the audio goes straight in there without any extra effort. And in this instance, you will hear your microphone that's plugged in because it's just a normal audio output that you're listening to. You'll need to find a way of plugging your speakers in as well. And then you go onto your phone where there's a little Mevo app, and you get the Mevo app downloaded, and the Mevo app controls this, it interfaces with this over your Wi-Fi network, just so you can zoom and switch cameras and adjust the audio and even add captions and titles and pictures and stuff. It's really, really clever. It's really elegant. And if you want a simple solution, and this could be useful, for instance, if you're using a DJ system that doesn't need a laptop, you could be using like a Denon DJ Prime Go, which is what I used to do. Tiny little controller. It's got a battery in it, so you don't really need to have anything other than that controller with you fully charged. One of these fully charged and your phone, and if your phone has got 4G internet, you can actually connect to your 4G internet from your phone with this. And so with those three things, battery powered phone, battery powered camera, and a battery powered DJ system like the Prime Go, you can literally go and live stream from anywhere. No laptop, no computer, no fuss. It's a great way of doing it. So if you're serious about this, especially if you want to go and live stream on the road, take a look at the Mevo camera. M-E-V-O is the name of the brand there. I do recommend these from literally using them dozens and dozens of times on a special live stream series that we did where I went all around various countries in Europe doing live streams from lakes and mountains and that kind of thing. So I said I would show you a way of finding out more about this if you're serious about it and you want to dig into this a little bit deeper. So head over to digitaldjtips.com, which is of course the website of my company, the biggest online DJ school in the world. Head over to digitaldjtips.com, and at the top, go into the search bar, click the little search icon and type DJ live streaming, all one word. Click search, and somewhere in the results there, you're going to see the ultimate guide to DJ live streaming. At the time of recording this, it's 2022. We update this every year or so. And in here, you're going to find everything you need to learn how to do this. Not only how I've just shown you, but loads of other ways as well. I'll talk you through the software, all the extra hardware you can use to really make this more professional. Audio interfaces, microphones, cameras, using real cameras if you like, as well as webcams to do this, and talk you through other ways of doing it apart from the ways I've just shown you. We show you the gear, we show you examples. There's me setting up a live stream by a swimming pool one summer, and you can see I'm using exactly the same camera that I was talking to you about there in this area here, and I've got another one down here. This is a 2-camera setup, but essentially it's exactly the same thing. And how to get around copyright issues and what to say and what to do on your live streams, even how to promote them. It's a great article. It's going to be a lot of fun for you if you're interested in this. It's helped many tens of thousands of people already. So head over to digitaldjtips.com and search for DJ live streaming in the search box in order to find out more. And of course, we are the biggest online DJ school in the world. If you want to take this further, we have a course called DJ Live Streaming Made Easy, which you can find on the courses tab over on the same website. So I hope I've given you some insight into how DJs live stream their sets. I hope you've seen some equipment here that's interesting to you that you might be adding to your collection. And I hope I've answered some questions about how all these things work, how the pictures, how the audio, how the microphones all get into the software and how they get broadcast. Do go and have a go. Our own digital DJ census that we run every year tells us that only about 10% of DJs have had a go at this, but nearly half want to. So there's an awful lot of people out there who haven't done it yet who want to have a go. Do have a go, ask any questions underneath, and I'll see you again in another video very soon. So meanwhile, get good, get out there and make the moments.